Question number 8. Okay, it says do a sketch, single diagram of the graphs y equals cosine 2 theta and y equals 1/2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a scale 1 and 2 here. All right, so if I'm going to graph cosine, well, let's think about that. This is got a frequency of 2. So sometimes it's helpful to think of what it would be if it's got a frequency of 1. Cosine, well, at 0 is going to be 1. If you think about the unit circle, cosine of 0 is going to be 1. And then if I do 90 degrees, well, then that's going to be cosine of that's going to be 0. And then if I do pi, it's going to be -1. And then if I do 270 degrees, that's going to be back up to 0. And then 2 pi is going to be 1 again. So this graph that we're about to make is going to have a frequency of 2. It's going to do this exact same thing, only it's going to happen twice in the same time frame. So in this case, it's pretty easy to do. So that means I've got to do 1 cycle and 1 pi. Well, this has got to be the middle, and it's going to kind of look like that, and it's going to repeat itself. So I know that it's going to look like this. And then they want me to graph y equals 1/2. Well, that's going to be a horizontal line. And so all I got to do is label them and I'm good to go. Now for the second part, it says find the number of roots for this 2 cosine 2 theta minus 1 equals 0. Well, this is an equation, but if I were to go ahead and get the cosine by itself, you can see that it's going to be cosine 2 theta is equal to 1/2. Now when we're solving an equation like this, what we're finding is basically where the graph of cosine 2 theta meets the graph of y equals 1/2. And so that's why they had to do this in part A, because we've actually just answered their question. How many times did the y equals 1/2 line intersect with my cosine line? Well, it intersected 4 times. There are 4 solutions. They're not even asking me what they are. They're just asking me how many there are. So there's 4 there. And then it says in the next part, they want us to deduce. So that means we don't really figure it out. You should just be able to do it kind of logically. And this range between 10 pi and 20 pi, well, if there's 4 roots in 2 pi, then how many roots are there in 10 pi? Well, it's not too hard to figure out. Multiply the 2 pi times 5, and you're going to get 10. So if I multiply the 4 times 5, I'm going to get 20. That should be 20 roots. All right, so that's all there is to this one. Thanks for watching.